I believe a beautiful garden can be a real tonic for the soul.
Oh my God.
Wow. I can't believe it.
So I'm travelling the country, surprising unsung heroes.
You must be great. It's lovely to see you.
Trying to put this back in this
and transforming their bedraggled plots into the stuff of dreams. This week, I meet two golden girls.
Robbie, hello. It's Alan Titchmarsh. How are you? Lovely to see you. How are you?
Whose garden is no longer safe for them to use.
It's all bumpy and lumpy and she's terrified to walk on it.
So to celebrate a friendship that spans 70 years,
they just care hugely about each other.
We're braving the summer heat and filling it with memories of their halcyon days.
Welcome to Love Your Garden.
This week, I'm heading southwest to the pretty village of Wiveliscombe in Somerset.
I'm here to meet two very special ladies.
Roberta, or Robbie, Stodden and Enid Edwards met in 1945 in their hometown of Bootle and began an extraordinary friendship.
They've just been inseparable. They just care hugely about each other. You don't see friendships like that span all those decades, which is lovely.
Neither of the friends married, but both became rocks that their extended families depended upon.
Nothing's too much trouble. If they can help you out, they will.
They were always there for us. They're like my two mums. They always will be.
But after 7 decades of being active and busy, age and illness have made their lives very different, and the world has shrunk to the confines of the bungalow they now share. Now 91, Robbie suffers from severe arthritis and is almost completely blind. And Enid, who's 86, has become her best friend's full-time carer, despite health problems of her own.
She was diagnosed with breast cancer and she went through the chemotherapy, the hair loss. She wore the wig and she never ever complained.
She was still caring for Auntie Berta as well, who obviously has lost her sight. They just put each other first all the time, both of them.
Bless her, she's been Auntie Berta's strength, I think. I don't know where she'd be without her. The friendship is so strong.
Both ladies once loved their garden, but sadly, at a time when they should be enjoying the simple pleasures of it, Robbie and Enid have become virtual prisoners in their own home.
The garden itself, Robbie hasn't been able to go out in it because there is a slope, which is quite dangerous to a person who can't see.
And Enid's ill health means she can no longer cope with the maintenance.
To be stuck in that lovely little house when the garden was their main thing, yeah, it's quite tough. It's quite tough at the moment.
So their family and friends have asked me to help.
The garden would absolutely change their lives completely. They would spend, I think, the rest of their life out in the garden. They'd be sitting in it, hail, rain or snow, I'm sure.
Robbie and Enid are a pair of life's battlers, so it's sad to see them in their twilight years being denied something as simple as a garden to relax in. I'm here to make amends, but they don't know I'm coming. Hello, Enid.
Oh, God.
How are you?
Oh.
Oh! Well, that's very kind of you. I like a hug this time of the morning.
Oh, I can't believe it. Oh, can't you just come and see Robbie? She's only sitting there. Just for a minute. Right,
Where am I going?
come on. This way.
Right.
This way. Look who I've brought to see you.
Robbie, hello. It's Alan Titchmarsh. How are you?
Oh, good heavens. It isn't.
It is. It's me.
Honestly.
Honestly, really.
Oh,
Don't get up. You're all right now, man.
I get up
Yeah.
for you.
Oh, glory.
I love you.
Goodness me. Well, we heard from Sandra that you've got a bit of a problem garden out the back.
Oh, yes.
Well, shall we have a look at this garden?
Yes, okay.
Let me take me and see. So, what have we got? We got a lovely view. There's a perilous slope going down there. It falls away.
Yes, it does. It's very hard to walk on, especially if you can't see it.
It's all bumpy and lumpy, and she's terrified to walk on it.
Now, you were quite keen, Robbie, as a gardener, yeah?
Yes, I was. But even though I can't see it, I know it's in a terrible state.
Yeah.
And
doesn't
that
help.
upsets me terribly.
But do you get out here much, Robbie, into the garden?
Very, very little.
Very little.
I want to be out here, but whichever way it goes, I get the sun.
Robbie suffers from skin cancer, so she can't take direct sunlight. So we want really effective shade for you then,
Yes.
right? We'll put your tent up. So in an ideal world, what would you want to come out of this back door and find?
Oh, be able to sit out,
Yeah.
be able to walk down the garden, along the garden.
Flowers with a nice
Something with red.
Something with red. Can you see red?
I
quite?
can see red.
Right. And scent, that's presumably it's
Oh, yes, definitely. And if possible, the sound of water. That would be heaven.
Well, we've got the sound of water at the moment, but it's coming down from the sky.
Exactly. Right.
Well, what would you say if I said, I'll bring a few friends along and we'll make it for you?
Oh, good heavens. That's not going to happen, is it?
Well, I'm afraid it is.
Oh,
Unbelievable.
after the first time, I'm speechless. Thank you, Alan.
Come on.
Come back to me.
Oh, you're very welcome.
If you hear whistling, it's me hearing it.
Bless her. Just making this garden safe for Robbie and Enid is going to be a massive challenge. But I also want it to be a place that brings back memories of their lifelong friendship. All right. Have a nice time. So I've arranged for them to spend a few days with their relatives.
Yeah, bye.
While we get started.
Is it ridiculous that they should be stuck inside? I want to give them a garden that they can really enjoy together.
To do that, I'm going to need my ever-reliable team. David Dominy, Katie Rushworth, and Francis Tophill. We're about to make a garden for two very special people, Robbie and Enid. Old friends, they've been friends since they were young. They are indomitable. They're huge fun. The problem is, in this little house here, they're trapped. Robbie has got very little sight. She can't come out because it's a minefield. Look at that slope there, just falling away. So I want to get a garden which is accessible to them, that gets them out, that they want to be in. What's the garden got to be like? It's got to remind them of their younger days when they really had their most fun. Their 1950s. And they used to love going to the seaside, promenading, seeing variety shows. In fact, one of them was secretary of the Ken Dodd Fountain.
Oh, look at him there. What does that make us, the Diddy men in this?
I think it probably does, from Knotty Ash. No, Taunton, right? Look at them, here they are.
I
The beach at Bournemouth. Couple of
Have you got one of
bathing
those?
bells.
Very similar, actually.
What I would like you to do, David,
Oh, I can see it coming.
you know what's coming, don't you? See that slope?
You want it level.
So
a big
it means taking this level ground outwards. That's your job. And also sorting out that doorstep so that it comes out much more readily.
Yeah.
Frances,
Yes.
Robbie likes to sit in the shade. She's not terribly keen on bright sunlight. So can you create somewhere for her to sit over in that corner there?
Something a bit special.
Something very special. Musical variety. Can you make it a bit theatrical?
Oh, I can try.
What's there for me then?
Ah, well, you see, I thought I would do the flower beds here, and the centre is whole centre area.
Okay,
scarlet
come on,
and white.
come on. Stop startling. What am I doing?
You're doing the front garden.
Get out there with the wheelie bins, you.
So it might only be small, but it wants all these elements in it, and it's got the most blissful view.
That's gorgeous, isn't it?
We need to add to it and create the curtain raiser for that view at the back. Do you like that analogy?
Yeah, it's lovely. That's
Go on, go and find your wheelbarrow.
Showtime.
Showtime. This won't be easy. Apart from me, none of this lot even remember the 1950s. But first, David and the lads have to take care of this dangerous slope.
The drop that we're dealing with here is almost a metre.
So before we can do anything, we've got to build a retaining wall up to the new garden level.
So we're using concrete blocks for the retaining wall. They're not the light ones either. Because at the back you're not really going to see them. But with all this rubble we're having to build up with, and the tons of topsoil as well, it's got to be a really strong wall to be able to hold all of that in.
Now that the old lawn's come out and the garden's being levelled, the temptation will be to re-turf. But looking after grass would mean extra work for Enid. So we need to do things differently. And that means going lawnless. To show you what I mean, I've come to visit a garden where there's not one blade of grass. But the space is all the better for it. In this plot, any worthwhile lawn would have taken up most of the garden. So instead of a boring block of green, Fiona Leeming put in these sensational borders. Come on, let's have a look. What you realise is how deep these borders are. Massive, which means you can get lots in them, because people are always tempted to have tiny, narrow borders. Of course, once you get rid of the lawn, the borders can come right in. You can get far more in them.
It wouldn't be so much fun without that border, that depth.
You'd have much less diversity of plants, much less fun. How worried were you about getting rid of the grass?
I was quite worried the night before, actually. I thought, oh, gosh, what are we doing? No grass. But we wanted lots and lots of planting, and as soon as you have lots of planting, there wasn't that much space for a decent lawn.
Fiona's chosen quite a subtle colour palette in her borders, with blues, purples, lime greens, and the dusky crimson of clematis. We're going to need a much bolder choice of colours for our garden. But there's another feature I think Robbie and Enid would like. A simple, shady sitting area, with just trickling water for company. I love the fact that your water feature is simple. You just see the reflection and the little ripples moving. Wonderful. There are loads of ideas to take away from this garden, not least the fact that just by getting rid of your lawn doesn't mean to say you're getting rid of everything green. And Robbie and Enid have the advantage of that wonderful view. With these ideas and their situation, I can't wait to get stuck in. But back in Wiveliscombe, it's the front garden that's concerning Katie, not the back. Coming out the way.
Oh, just a man. Hang on. Can I borrow you?
Quickly.
Right, I've been left in charge of the front garden.
Right.
I'd like to put a couple of beds in
Right.
for Robbie and Enid, so they can sit out here. So I need some extra paving, preferably here for a seat.
Should bring it out further.
Yeah. Also, from a practical point of view, I really want to extend this path so they can get the bins in and out. Can you do that for me?
Well, I won't, because I'm busy in the garden, but I can get someone else to do it.
Oh, you're a good one. Thank you.
You'll be lucky. Right now all the boys are tied up working on David's retaining wall. They're now filling the void with 10 tons of hardcore. That's almost the weight of a double-decker bus.
Well, we're really under some pressure now because all the hardcore's slowly moving this way. So we've got to finish all of this wall, then make sure that it dries so it's absolutely rock solid, so when we move the rest of it in, it holds it all in place. And when that's done, we've got the rest of the garden to do too.
This is a huge job, but if we get it right, Robbie and Enid will be able to safely enjoy all of their garden for the first time.
No, there's no greater gift in life than a good friend. And Robbie and Enid have been good friends for over 70 years. Hopefully this garden will assure them of an even brighter future together.
Here in Wiveliscombe, we're reclaiming the garden that'll set two lifelong friends free from the confines of their retirement bungalow. We've made the bold decision to go without a lawn in the back garden, and now the site's level, we're putting in a large and much safer patio in its place. Despite the weather today being more like Benidorm in a heat wave, our aim is to evoke the spirit of the British seaside in its 1950s heyday. For lifelong friends, Robbie and Enid. The pair might have grown up in Bootle, Liverpool, but it was a British holiday resort on the south coast that became their firm favourite.
They loved Bournemouth and the winter gardens, they loved that.
When they weren't on the prom, they were at the theatre, cheering on their friend, comedian Ken Dodd.
Robbie was the fan club secretary, and she did funny things like knitting 3-sleeve sweaters and stuff like that. You know, all good fun.
These days, illness and old age may have trimmed their wings a little, but this game pair of liver birds still have a zest for life.
They are the Golden Girls. Quite wonderful people, actually.
Their life's been so full of adventure that they don't want to lose that.
If we get it right, I think we can make a garden that'll set them free again. So, with a new step and a handrail, David's making access to the garden much safer. And out the front, Kate is getting handy with the spray paint.
Robbie and Enid's garden is typical of many front gardens up and down the country. It's often the garden that gets overlooked, not very inspiring. However, I've got great plans. It has this wonderful kind of sweep up this hill, which means that what planting I put in here is perfectly visible from the living room. It also gives them some privacy from the road.
Meanwhile, I've had an idea for the back of the house.
Sam, you got a minute?
Yes.
I want to try and brighten these two lumps of wall here in between the windows, because when, you know, they're looking from that corner of the garden over here, it's rather a bald and bare back wall. I've got these really jolly buckets. I want to plant some bright flowers like geraniums in those. And what I'd like to do is for you to make me a structure.
Yeah.
And if you can do me a unit out of timber that's got shelves coming out of it, like that, I can then stand the pots on there, and then we suddenly end up, instead of looking at that wall which is bald and boring, it's all got flowers all coming down it. And if you can do me two, one sloping out here and one sloping out there, that'd be really great.
That's not a
Is
problem.
that all right?
Yeah.
Would you like this architectural drawing?
I will, and then I can hold it against you.
Yeah.
I know the perfect plant for my new buckets.
What these lovely things that we call geraniums, real name pelargoniums, need
is exactly what we've got now. Brilliant, brilliant sunshine. They are sun lovers. They come from very sunny countries. If you put them in shade, they will just get longer and longer and the leaves will go yellow. So by potting them up like this and standing them somewhere around the back, which is going to get lots of sunlight, they will absolutely love it. With the thermometer rising, we're all beginning to feel the heat. Lucky for us, some shelter has just arrived.
Bring it round here. Very important that Robbie and Enid get a lot of shade. So this is going to be a summer house, but it's going to be a little bit more than just an ordinary summer house. And the great thing about this summer house, unlike any other summer house I've ever seen, is that it spins so they can change their view depending on their mood.
It may not quite have the flavour of a 1950s seaside resort just yet, but this is definitely beach weather. So while we perspire, here's a look at what we're aiming to achieve. The plot is rectangular, so David's put in a circular patio, enabling us to create large curved beds that will complement the view behind. In one corner, Francis is adding a summer house that rotates, so they can enjoy the garden and the view from inside. And in the other, we're creating a safe shaded seating area. Once it's planted with bold colours, I'm hoping it'll take Robbie and Enid on a trip down memory lane.
What do you think? It's quite nice, isn't it?
Yeah.
Look.
Oh, you won't remember, will you? Sunday night at the London Palladium.
It's very nice.
Doesn't mean a thing to you, does it?
No,
They used to revolve the stage at the end of every show. That's a magic trick.
It's got the works. It's all the magic of the seaside.
Cool. Speaking of the seaside, the next wave of fencing is rolling in.
Now we're following on the fencing from the line across there. So they're the same panels, but we've cut them down so the girls can really enjoy the beautiful view. And of course we get these lovely seaside waves.
So while David finishes his tidal trellis fence, Francis is heading for some of the real stuff. On a fact-finding mission. Yeah, any excuse.
Alan asked us to bring 1950s Bournemouth to Somerset, so there really was only one place I wanted to go for inspiration.
The golden sand, the pier, the people. What a buzz Bournemouth must have been when Robbie and Enid used to holiday here.
Although some things have changed over the years,
Thank you.
much is as it was in those heady holidays.
I really love these bright orange Nefophia with the pink of the geranium. Now that is a vintage combination and it really says 1950s.
Planting like this will instantly transport Robbie and Enid back to their holidays. But as well as the promenade and the seafront, it was the variety shows and the theatre that were a big part of the vintage seaside experience.
When Robbie and Enid were young, glamorous girls about town, it was places like this that really got under their skin.
It was the end of post-war austerity, and everyone just wanted to have fun.
This is the original ballroom where all the dancing would have happened, and I'll tell you what, I want one of those glitter balls back in the garden.
I can see why Robbie and Enid loved this place so much.
The atmosphere here is amazing. That colour combination could only be in the theatre. I might have to use that.
Robbie and Enid used to hang out here backstage with all the stars. There's just so much inspiration here in Bournemouth. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to fit it all into my tiny corner of the garden, but I am going to try.
Here in Wiveliscombe, there are certain items that Enid and Robbie were very attached to in their old garden, and we need to find a new home for them. I know just the person.
How are you getting on front of house?
Yeah, not bad. About all the turf's lifted, so we're just kind of giving it a good drink now because it's so dry.
It's absolutely dusty, isn't it? Oh, look, you've got no penny there.
Oh, yeah, look.
Gosh.
Find a penny, pick it up, all day long, you'll have good luck.
Oh, well, here's your luck then. Okay. Hedgehog.
Hedgehog.
Sheep.
Sheep.
Rabbit.
Rabbit.
Yeah. Okay. These belong to Robbie and Enid. They love them in their gardens. So if you can find some way of getting these into your garden.
Great.
Welcome back to Wiveliscombe in Somerset, where we're trying to bring an air of seaside nostalgia to a garden owned by two elegant ladies. The backdrop to our setting is lovely.
Pop it down here.
So Katie and I are trying to create a foreground to match.
Oh, they are lovely, these. Chinese dogwoods, Cornus Kuza. It's a beautiful sort of little spreading, large shrub, small tree.
Yeah.
Useful for small gardens. It might be a nice sort of punctuation mark in that corner. Back a bit. No, yeah, whoa. Oh, that's rather nice, actually.
For Robbie to fully enjoy this garden, she needs to be able to get the most from the flowers. And with her failing eyesight, that means using some pretty bright colours.
Robbie's got macular degeneration, which is this loss of sight. Colour goes, particularly with it. But strangely enough, red is the one colour which sort of lasts longest. So out of that corner of her eye, she can just get a hint of what this garden's all about.
Oh, these monadas are amazing.
Yeah, smell it.
Yeah, they're incredible, aren't they? It makes me salivate, the smell.
Well, it's great for Robbie, because, the great thing is she can touch and smell, and she'll get the fragrance of Earl Grey tea.
Yeah.
This bright and cheery scheme is just the thing to take our girls back to their summers in the 1950s.
That looks amazing, the orange next to the purple.
It's good, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really good.
There's one special plant I want to put in here to remind Robbie of her dad, who was a keen gardener.
Imagine the end of the war, the rose comes out like this. You've just got to have it, haven't you? But it's a wonderful sentiment.
Yeah.
You had a rose like this called Peace, and it was in Robbie's dad's garden.
You must remember the 50s then, Alan. What were you? In your 20s?
Back from her jolly jaunt to Bournemouth, Frances is now bringing some theatrical pizzazz to her corner of the garden.
There, my summer house is beginning to take shape. And first things first, these gorgeous red curtains. Now, to add to that, these rather nice gold tassels. I really want Robbie and Enid to feel like they're in a theatre or cinema when they're in here. I think that'll look rather lovely.
She's dressing the summer house with memories for Enid and Robbie.
Some really nice pictures here, actually. That one with Enid and Robbie with Ken Dodd there, which is a really nice one. I think needs pride of place, really.
In the front garden, Katie's plants have finally arrived.
I've given my beds a bit of a colour theme because when you go down the seafront, at the seaside, all the municipal planting tends to have a bit of a colour theme to it. So this one is going to be pinks and blues, and then the bed over there is going to be much cooler in colours. The only other problem I've got now is getting those animals in.
Yeah, I see you.
We've made the garden safe, and we're making it nostalgic for our golden girls. But I still think we can do more. So I've come to meet Enid to learn about their extraordinary friendship. What do you think it is that's kept you two so close for so long?
She was like a sister to me, and we'd done everything together. We went to cinemas, we went to theatres and holidays together. You know, we just got on.
Have you developed a kind of telepathy with one another, do you?
Oh, yeah, sometimes I know what she's thinking, and she knows what I'm thinking.
Does it frustrate Robbie losing her independence?
Oh, very much. I wish I could help you and do this and do, but I can't do it. She can't do her garden, and that really gets her down, you know. She'll say to me, I dread if I could walk. I don't think I'd want to go out there and see that garden the way it is. And I'd say, it's all right, it's not bad. There's just a couple of weeds. A couple of weeds. You don't need any weeds. Oh, gosh.
Does it upset you?
It does, yeah. Yeah, because I'd love her to be able to see, you know. I said, if I could give you one of my eyes, I would. And I would. You know.
I don't think you two could have been more devoted to husbands than you are to one another.
She was just like a twin sister to me, she was, like a twin.
These days, Robbie's confined to a chair for much of the day. And while Enid is in remission from her cancer, she still cares full-time for her best friend. Do you ever get down? Do you get fed up?
Well, I get tired, you know. I've slowed down a lot because I used to be very active, but now I'm flagging a bit and I'm just going puffing away, you know.
You managed to carry on caring for her, even when you were going through your
She'd do the same for me if it was the other way round. I know that. She would do exactly the same.
Is this garden going to make a real difference? You know, someone say, well, if Robbie can't see it, what difference is it going to make?
She can't wait. She said, I know I won't be able to see it properly, but I will have an idea. She nearly died when we visited us. She couldn't believe it.
Bless her.
Yeah.
Well, we'll try and give her a nice surprise at the end
she
of the day.
can't wait.
I won't let you down.
Oh, thanks, Alan. God bless you.
Back at the house, Katie and the boys are putting the finishing touches to the front garden, and inspired by my chat to Enid, I've now got a new challenge for her. Now, Katie, there's a fence panel going in here. We've got a little sentry box, which is rather sweet, for tools, going next to that fence panel. So the sentry box will be here.
So you mean they're not going to look out when those lovely portaloos?
So they're going to look out. Well, it's just a fence panel, which is almost as boring as a portaloo.
Okay.
Can you somehow on here do some kind of focal points when they come out, but really personalise it for me?
Focal point, we needed something special, right on the list.
I've got 2 more beds to close.
I am.
The flowers may be loving the sun, but apart from the summer house, this garden is still far too exposed to the elements, particularly for Robbie. So I've tasked David with finding a simple way to give them both some much-needed protection.
Shade is critical in any garden, particularly if you want to get out and enjoy it in the midday sun. The traditional method is to build a frame like this pergola and then plant climbers on it. Here they've combined the stunning Clematis durandii with the elegant Sanders white rose. I mean, this is spectacular. But for Robbie and Enid, I want to try and give them shade all year round. And looking at this, when the petals are finished and the leaves have come off, there'll be no shade at all. But it is beautiful. I think Robbie and Enid need instant cover, so I want something more man-made. Now here's an interesting option. Automatic louvers. You can allow as much or as little light as you want, and it's all done with a touch of a button. This is very stylish, but I worry it's a tad modern for our garden. My third option is this roller awning, which covers both the roof and the sides. Joel Sweeney installed it for the family, so they could use this space all year round.
Everything's electrically operated. You can just have it so if you want everything up, and you just press the button and everything just retracts.
That's amazing. So you've got shade, protection from the elements, that's wind, that's rain. You've got heaters, you've got light. You could effectively use it any season.
Yeah, we didn't want a conservatory and we wanted it to be outdoor living, so we can retract the roof when the sun's out and in the summer, and it's still a patio area.
Now I really like this, but it's huge, it's way too big for our garden and we'll just dominate it. But what I do like is the solid shade, and if I can adapt that to our theme, I think we've cracked it. And I also like remote control.
Back in our garden, Katie's got a surprise for me.
This is the answer to all your prayers.
Oh, is this for my fence at the back? Way! So this is those two on holiday in Bournemouth.
It
Robbie
is.
and Enid in Bournemouth.
Isn't it fab? So it's all waterproof and it's going to go on the fence, so it'll be a good focal point. It's special for both of them.
It's
tick
wonderful.
box, tick box.
Can
Gold
you-
star for me.
Well, if you can find a frame.
Oh!
While Katie quietly seethes, I'm hiding out back. So Robbie can enjoy the sound of water in the garden, I've ordered a small, easy-to-assemble fountain.
David, I've got this fountain, which is, real men don't read instructions. I think I'm nearly there. Look, what I'm going to do is... I'm on. Go on.
And there's an additional challenge. It's solar-powered.
Will you just turn that on? Look, something's happening.
Just a reminder of the 1950s, holding up the aerial for the telly.
Can it get a trickle faster when the sun comes out?
Can you get on my shoulders? We'll get closer to the sun, you get a dribble, another dribble out the back.
We may be a while. Here in Somerset, we're still trying to transport Enid and Robbie's garden back to the 1950s. Katie's come up with a novel way to frame her giant photo of our golden girls in their prime.
Sam has made me this incredible frame with troughs all the way around it, and what we're going to do is fill it full of moss, which has been soaking in water, and then we're going to cover the whole thing in chicken wire, cut holes in it, and plant it up with these alpines and create like a living frame. Now, alpines are perfect for this because they need no maintenance, very little water, and hardly any soil.
In the back garden, along with my new water feature, I'm adding a bed by the summer house that will excite Robbie's other senses.
Having got the bright colouring with the roses and the lilies and hydrangeas and such like, right next to the summer house here, I want to give Robbie those fragrances. For this bed, I'm devoting pretty much to herbs. This lovely pineapple mint here with a variegated leaf, a bit of fennel, which is like aniseed, and these marvellous scented leaf pelargoniums. You squish the leaves. This is Lady Scarborough, and she's got scent of ripe strawberries. Oh, lovely. And what Robbie will be able to do, even if the scents aren't wafting towards her, you just feel the leaves and brush them. And it sends you wherever that fragrance reminds you of. These plants are time travellers in a way. Sniff them and you're transported somewhere else. Ooh, do you like chocolate? This is Chocolate Cosmos. Smells just like 70% cocoa, that.
wonderful little collection, this, what with the strawberries and the chocolate and the lemon. It's just like a sweet shop, really. I'm glad this is the last bed. It's been a scorcher. And talking of heat, David's clearly looking for some brownie points.
I don't want anybody crushing any of Alan's pots.
Not only has he figured out how to keep Robbie and Enid out of the sun,
Ice creams! Choc ices!
but he's brought some treats to cool us down.
Choc ices! Fancy one of these little babies?
Oh, you've got an awning there.
It's the business, isn't it?
That's nice, that.
It's got that seaside feel to it. A little bit of shade which is needed.
Does it come out anymore?
Yeah, it does. It's
what?
further.
I used to have one, you have to wind it.
So none of that nowadays. Sit down and relax.
Oh, I didn't like to be beside
That looks like a smart one. That's gone on.
Oh, I do like to be beside the sea. Oh, I do like to walk along the prom,
where the brass band plays
bong, bong. Freshly imbued with the holiday spirit, we're now determined to finish Robbie and Enid's garden. And David's got a present for Katie.
A little guard dog for them. I know how you love the animals and
Yeah, loving the animal.
guaranteed not to need a pooper scooper. Can't get any better.
It's been no vacation, but as the last reminders of Robbie and Enid's halcyon days go in, our little 1950s time capsule is finally complete. And these are from an admirer. With a card, Roberta and Enid taking out that when they come.
Very nice. That's exciting.
This was the one where the hard landscapers went mad and took weeks. Well, it felt like it.
Yeah.
This is Tam's garden and Sam's, put together with cement, stone and screws, I think, really. But I would like to say you've done awfully well. I would like to say more than that. Oh, tickled I am. Are you tickled as well? Are you tickled, missus? There you are, Tam. You've earned that. Oh, what an idiot.
Francis smashed with his trowel in his pocket and crushed his bulbs.
Stupid boy. Come on, I hope that's tickled as you are. A few days ago, this garden was so bad, Robbie and Enid rarely ventured outside their back door. So we've turned it into a holiday haven that's filled with golden memories. A new patio makes it safe for Robbie, around which I've filled the beds with dramatic colours and delicate fragrance. Our wavy fence provides a seaside backdrop, next to which Francis's summer house takes them back to glorious nights spent dancing and enjoying the theatre. David's provided much needed shade over a new outdoor seating area, where they can listen to the gentle sound of trickling water, reminisce about the past, and enjoy the present in their new garden. For more information on how we built the garden, go to itv.com/Alan. These two lifelong friends
Welcome home.
Hello. Have been through a lot together. Your front garden's a little makeover as well. So we've got various things that we put your sheep in.
Yes. Doesn't this look nice?
Well, we've done
Look at the plants.
Yeah.
Oh. Beautiful.
That's Katie's opening act. Go and have a look at your back garden. Now for the main event. And now you can open your eyes.
Oh, isn't that lovely? Oh. You and me.
You and Enid, when you were out on the toot.
And lots
of bright colours. We've got white hydrangeas, peace rose, which I think your dad had in his garden.
And it goes lovely round. Isn't that gorgeous?
And the thing is, Robbie, it's all on the same level. You can walk anywhere. It's all smooth.
It's wonderful.
You've got a table here. I knew you liked shade in the garden. So, when you press this little button here, down comes the awning to shade you.
Wonderful. Oh no, isn't that gorgeous?
I don't believe it, you know. I don't believe it.
Wonderful.
I can't believe I'm walking.
You're in your garden.
Big.
There's a summer house for you to sit in. Here. It's painted blue.
It's gorgeous.
And it's got red curtains inside the inside it. This is your bit of theatre, this is. And a glitter ball.
And a glitter ball.
There's also a large bunch of flowers here.
Beautiful.
There's a card for you.
Oh, isn't it lovely? To my dear friends, Roberta and Enid, and your summer house of happiness. Wishing you love, Ken. And Dickie Moon too.
Bless him.
Picture of Dickie Moon.
Oh, bless him.
Oh, isn't that
nice? Isn't that nice? I've got one final surprise for them. A message from Robbie's sister in Australia.
Hi, darlings. I wish I was there, but unfortunately it's impossible. But look, I am thrilled to pieces about you getting your garden done. And it's going to make it a lot easier for you, darling. I love you so much for all what you've done for me. Hi and bye from Australia. Love you all. Bye. I'm Sophie. Bye. Bye. Bye.
Will you enjoy your garden there, Robbie?
Oh, God. I think I'll sleep in it. There's no one got a garden like this.
Oh, I know. That's what I said.
We got the blues on the run. Sing good to Carol. Sing out a song of the king. Now's the time to roll the barrel.
All together.
Boys on the guys, all here.
Until we arrived, Robbie particularly couldn't come out that door. Enid had to do the garden on her own. Now, I don't think we're going to get her back inside. It's worked, and I couldn't be more delighted for two wonderful ladies.
Look out here now, on my own. Isn't it lovely? All the memorabilia all around the wall. Ooh, lovely smelly heads.
Yeah.
I don't know how these transformed this nightmare of a garden into a bit of heaven, and it's filled with love.
It's like a miracle, isn't it? No maintenance.
And no grass. Oh, lovely.
Coming up next, in memory of the legendary Cilla Black, we've the 2013 special, the one and only Cilla Black, here on ITV. And at 10:40 tonight, tomorrow and Thursday, we'll be revisiting the acclaimed drama Cilla, starring Sheridan Smith.